All right, hello, friends, and welcome back to the Gaming Dad Fujo podcast. This is episode number 7. I am Fujosovich, your host, former professional Hearthstone player, and current analytical chemist. And today we will be talking about The Last of Us, The Mandalorian, the James Webb Telescope, Nintendo Power, some reality TV garbage shows that I'm actually enjoying watching. Let's get started. He's got no time to play video games. He's the gaming dad, Fujo. Nailed it. Okay, and as has become tradition, let's start very quickly with some self-indulgent gaming dad Fujo updates. This will be the first episode that will be uploaded to both YouTube and a podcast distribution center at the same date and time. Easiest place to find us right now, probably Spotify and a couple other major podcast locations. We're still missing from iTunes, but I'm working on it, and we will get there at some point. We are also having the stream. We will be streaming end of March, Wednesday, March 29th, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. What am I going to be playing? Probably Hearthstone, because it's the easiest thing for me to just do and kind of zone out and chat to. Let's say what the over-under is of 12 people showing up total. Concurrent, I think we'll probably cap out at 5, but we're hoping to get there. I would love to just play classic WoW, but that's probably a little wasteful since I'm not really playing WoW right now and I don't really have time to be playing it. But I would love to. Speaking of which, we'll just talk about what gaming is happening right now at the old Fujo Casa. I keep trying to play Hearthstone. I'm just really still not into whatever's happening right now, and that's fine, right? That's allowed to happen. I know there's a new mini expansion right now. I've tried to play, I'm not into it. I keep trying to play Battlegrounds. I'm really not into that either. Honestly, it's kind of weird that Pokemon Go is actually keeping more of my interest when I'm on the go and just looking for quick gaming. At home, obviously, it's still Breath of the Wild. I am absolutely ready to go face Ganon, Calamity Ganon, for the first time ever. The issue is I'm at the point, and I don't know if anyone else has this issue. I've always been like this ever since I was a little gaming Fujo. Whenever I'm close, nearing completing a game, I think it's this subconscious thing of I don't want the game to be over. So as long as I don't beat it, there's still more game left. And I know I haven't 100% beaten Breath of the Wild. There's 900 Korok seeds apparently. I think I have like 120. I know I'm missing at least 5 hearts. My stamina's maxed out. So for shrines, my stamina's maxed out and I'm missing about 5 or 6 hearts. So that's probably another 20 or 25, 24 shrines. So I'm not 100% beating the game, but I'm at the point where I've been playing blind, no guides. I'm kind of running out of obvious places to search and look. And while it's just fun to run around, it might be time to beat the game. We'll see. We'll stay updated. And obviously, when the next Breath of the Wild 2, are we going to call it that, Tears of the Kingdom, when that comes out, we'll talk as we go along and kind of explore a little more slowly. There's no point in getting super in-depth into a 5-year-old game. Although I am excited to finally beat the game, because then I can kind of watch some of these super cool speedruns and things like that people have done in the game, and making these super huge flying machines with the energy storage mechanic, to kind of see how that all works. Because like I said, I've been avoiding everything. I've gone in completely blind, even though the game's 5 years old. I think I still managed to do that pretty well, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I've had too many things spoiled for myself, which is pretty exciting and made me pretty happy, to be perfectly honest. So that's enough about the gaming update. Maybe I keep not wanting to do classic WoW for the stream, but I might. We'll do hardcore, so it's a little more on the table, a little more on the line. Okay, let's jump into The Last of Us. Both episode 5 and episode 6 from season 1 have happened since we last talked. There's going to be spoilers as per usual. I'll say there's going to be spoilers for The Last of Us, maybe another 4 minutes. Then we're going to have Mandalorian spoilers for a couple minutes. So, sorry. Let's see, episode 5. What happened here? It was decompression episode right at the beginning. It was really cute, sweet bonding between Joel and Ellie. You see them, incredible elderly couple at the beginning, who I think, they stole that scene, just so calm with guns pointed at them. Hey, why didn't you get your gun? It was on the other side of the room. I hope that they live out their very peaceful lives in their zombie Last of Us land. Obviously great scenery and all that as Joel and Ellie are traveling, and then they finally meet up with Tommy. There's obviously some tension going on here. I think the funniest thing that stands out to me is as everything's being explained, how things run to Joel. Joel kind of goes like, "Huh, interesting." He goes, "Okay, so all the work is shared, resources are held in common. There's work rotation, so everyone does every job. There's multi-faith, there's interracial couples." And this is all coming at Joel and Tommy, who are kind of very Texas guys. And so Joel kind of just goes, "Oh, this is communism." And Tommy, "But no, it's not." And then Tommy's, I don't know if it's partner or wife, says, yeah, this is exactly what it is. And at this point, maybe no matter what Joel's upbringing and feelings were, I think he's just too practical at this point to care, where he's like, hey, this place works in the middle of this wild world that The Last of Us is. It works, so he's cool with it. When we kind of have, obviously, the horrible, the big tension between Joel and Ellie. They do end up leaving together. And then, of course, they try and go to the Firefly lab. And then Joel gets stabbed, and that's where we're left out with Ellie freaking out. And then Fujo and Fujosovich freaking out on the sofa equally as much. Well, we have to wait for over a week because episode 5 actually came out early. That was Super Bowl weekend. So we had even longer than a week to wait until episode 6. And then episode 6 instantly jumps to Joel bleeding out and Ellie flashback, which again, very, very sweet, very emotional episode. The issue for me was that we knew it was going to have a horrible ending. Like I said, I haven't played the games, so I don't actually know what's happening. But you kind of have a feeling with The Last of Us. We're only on episode 6, and you kind of have a feeling that it's not going to be a good ending because I've never seen Riley before. You see Riley and her first love, Ellie and Riley together there. I think I mixed those names up. That's all right. And then of course you see them both, Ellie and Riley, getting bitten after they share a kiss, and then Ellie is immune to that, and Riley probably not so much. And then of course Ellie comes back, starts stitching up Joel, and that's how that one ends. And again, like it's just great building of these characters. There's action obviously, but there's so much tension, which is what I've also really liked. I'm assuming there's going to be we're going to ramp up for the end of the season at this point. We've built up these characters, we've established them, where I'm super clearly I'm super invested. But yeah, I'm definitely we're going to be ramping up. I'm super excited for this. It's 100%. I'm all in, captivated, and I'm on board with this one. Then we'll jump over to The Mandalorian. We're going to have, like I said, okay, that was about 3.5-4 minutes. There we go of spoilers. We'll talk Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. That just came out yesterday. Oh, I didn't do my intro properly. Today, hey, we'll just do this here now. 7.5 minutes into the episode or so. This episode was recorded on March 2nd, 2023. The reason why I didn't record yesterday is because Mandalorian came out and we decided, hey, we need to watch this because, again, we're super into Mando. Mando is just so much fun to me as a big Star Wars nerd. I love this. I have a life-size standee cutout of Boba Fett because I just love that whole Mandalorian image and all of that. And then Mando just comes in with this is the way cool attitude. And I thought this was a first great episode to kind of reintroduce and kind of reset this season. Because I know Mando and Grogu are in Boba Fett, which is you can kind of look at as Mandalorian Season 2.5. And I know people are going to be critical, and you can be critical of anything you want. But on the Gaming Dad Fujo podcast, I like to be a little more positive. There's so much negativity in the world. Mandalorian to me is fun. And again, like I said, it's captivating. You have these cool Star Wars moments. And again, it's not all Jedis because we know there's not Jedis everywhere. Even though I love the Jedis that have been in Mandalorian so far. We get the classic Mando moments with him. He kills the massive alligator when he finds the other Mandalorians. You get super cool. Just again, it's these very subtle, like, the head tilt and just like Mando's leaning against a tree and then he kind of just like readies himself, like puts all his weight on both his feet when he's back in, oh shoot, I forget the name of the planet from season 1. We'll just call it that. And he's facing off against the Weequay pirates. I remember their name because the Clone Wars, the television show, we see those types of pirates, that species of pirates all the time. And they're fantastic. And seeing them in live action I don't know that if we've seen them before in live action, to be honest, but I was very, very excited to see them. We got to see Bo-Katan kind of doing the depression storyline there, having lost everything. We've set up the Pirates storyline, obviously. Mad at Mando. We still have the Darksaber storyline going on. Obviously, Grogu has to be kept safe at all costs. So I'm super, super excited. Like I said, I think this resets everything very, very well. And I'm super excited. I'm all in on this as well. So there's not going to be too much downtime once The Last of Us ends until for the next show to continue, at least. Maybe not even ending, just continuing on. Okay, jumping in, next topic is going to be the James Webb Space Telescope, the JWST. So there was a really interesting article published in the Journal of Nature just a couple weeks ago that a few galaxies have been detected by the James Webb Space Telescope. It's the largest telescope that humans have ever made. It's existing in orbiting Earth well outside of our atmosphere, so it's not being light polluted by everything within our planet. And basically, they have discovered some galaxies that are too large than our current standard cosmological theories predict. So in order for a galaxy to grow and age, and then, stars form and they explode and they release all of their byproduct, everything out of them, or if they're too massive, they collapse into black holes, which then cause other phenomena. And these are all detected with all the telescope technology on the James Webb telescope. And what's happened is these galaxies, to our understanding of the universe, are too large at their position and trajectory to exist from how far back in time we understand the universe to be. So there's a lot of fun scientific guessing at this point. The article, let's just jump to the end where the article says they need about another year to get some more conclusive evidence. But and sometimes I've introduced some topics in the podcast. Oh, we're gonna check in on this. This is definitely worth checking in on. This is super, super cool. So there's one hypothesis that there's actually some other channel for fast tracking of creating these monster massive galaxies that we've never discovered before. Like, we've never seen anything like this before, so we've never thought and never had to do the math for things happening in this way. There was one hypothesis that there could be this galaxy could host supermassive black holes, and so what we're seeing is not actually a massive galaxy in the sense of its size, but just its response to what we're seeing in our telescope here. So it's actually, this is really, really cool that, we're getting to see science here pushing the boundaries in obviously when these articles get published, they're very, very technical. And when any math that happens to describe these phenomena will be incredibly complicated. But it's cool then when you have discussions about these that are more easy to understand, to the point that me, a non-astronomer, can read and understand and talk about them in a very, very basic way. This is super cool. I always loved space and the stars. I know in elementary school, every single time we had to do a speech every grade after grade 5, 6, 7, 8, and 4 years there. Yeah, that's how math works still. And I did it basically on space and the U.S. space race with the Soviets and the space program. Basically every year, I just copy pasted it and then would expand on it. My parents would not let me just repeat the same thing, so I always did a little bit more. So I've been super into all this space stuff. So seeing these stories come up in the news is super cool. And what have I been actually seeing? For some reason, sometimes I like to look at you can look at the horizon at sunrise and sunset and see some of the different planets in our galaxy. Usually along the horizon, along sunrise and sunset. I think, what am I seeing now where I am in the northern hemisphere? It's Jupiter and Mars, I believe, can be seen at sunset in the western sky, which is pretty cool. I think it's those two. I know I looked it up the other night when I'm like, hey, those two stars look funny. They were funny because they were actually planets. But this is a super cool story, super cool discovery. We're going to learn a lot about the universe and how a bunch of it works because of this. And we're going to follow up on this absolutely for sure. Was actually for the NES version of Dragon Warrior. And I actually still have my copy. So what you had to do was subscribe for 12 issues for a year, one per month, right? And if you subscribe with this little insert, you would get a free copy of Dragon Warrior. And the subscription was $15-20, right, back then, and games were going for about 50. It was a massive steal of a deal, and this was Nintendo's way to introduce RPGs to the West, to the Western audience. It was super cool. It definitely worked. I know I got hooked, although I think I might have played Final Fantasy before this one. At least it was around the same time. I'm not sure exactly of the timeline, obviously. But I know I still have my Dragon Warrior box. I still have my poster, actually. I have a Final Fantasy 6, which is North American 3. I still have that poster up on my wall right now. I want to get my Dragon Warrior poster put up as well, because that's super cool, super rare. You could obviously still go out and buy a Dragon Warrior copy back in the day, but you could get it for free as well. So that's really, really... It's just one of these interesting giveaways. Like, you wouldn't see something like that necessarily today, just a game given away. In this, sure, you're going to go on to Twitch and YouTube and be like, oh, subscribe to my channel for a chance to win. Sure, that stuff's going to happen. But this was a mass. They shipped 500,000 units, I think, with this giveaway in order just to try and be like, hey, people, there's this other type of genre of games. It was really, really cool. And I definitely think it helped. I know I got into it as a result. Hey, free game. Price was right. Second Nintendo Power story. So like I said, there were a lot of these contests and things you could mail into. So in September and October of 1990, there was a contest where the winner would have their name included in a future NES game. Nintendo never announced what happened to this contest. No one never announced what, who the winner was. Sometimes you'd see people with pictures of like, yeah, look at my sweet jacket or whatever it is. You could look at all these hats that I now have that say Nintendo Power on them, which, side note, great collector's item. If you can find legit ones and actually confirm that they are from what they are, very, very collectible. But that's a side note. We'll talk about collectibles next week. I definitely want to talk a little bit about that sort of stuff. But so you could get your name included in a game. A few years later, I should say, we jump into Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and what now is known as the Chris Houlihan room exists. So this has never been confirmed to be a real person. It's super difficult room to access. On a normal playthrough, it would never happen. But you somehow get to this room again. We know that gamers love to do weird combinations to see what happens. What if I run over here and then jump there and, slice this thing, and then, wow, you're in this place no one's ever seen before, because that's what we love to do, right? It's what we love to do. And you just go into this, you fall into a room filled with blue rupees. That's 5 each. And there's a plaque saying, my name is Chris Houlihan. This is my top secret room. Keep it between us, okay? And it's this really cool giveaway. And again, like I said, this person's never been confirmed that it was actually a person, that it was actually from the contest, but people have kind of put it together that this must be what it was. And Nintendo Power kind of has, like I said, I'm gonna come back to Nintendo Power for the next many podcasts, because there's lots of cool little giveaways, and I'm gonna try and start digging in. There's a couple I want to dig into a little bit deeper, because a lot of people have talked about Nintendo Power in the past, and I think it's such a cool era of gaming that I grew up in, that I'm gonna keep talking about and sharing these interesting little tidbits about from time to time. As actually a side note for Legend of Zelda, we just actually hit the 37th anniversary. That was on February 21st of the original Legend of Zelda. Definitely revolutionized gaming. So many concepts. There's New Game Plus, separate screen for the menu in the games. There's sequence breaking, because this was an open world game. You just show up and you go left, right, up, or into a cave. And also another interesting side fact, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's the good Avatar. Go ahead and fight me. Was also released on February 21st, but that was actually 19 years after The Legend of Zelda came out. So that's a weird coincidence. February 21st is a great day for, top television shows of all time and top video game of all time. So pretty cool. Okay, we mentioned the reality TV show garbage that I watched, and I know I call it garbage tongue-in-cheek because I've watched so much. I actually watch it a lot in the background. I know I've mentioned this in passing, but I just figured let me take 2 minutes and address it so that when it comes up in the future, it's not as surprising. Obviously, I know. So the reason why I watch this in the background is because with the gaming habits and gaming dad gaming schedule, I don't get to come sit down here and grind out many hours on Hearthstone, grind out hours leveling in WoW, doing whatever. I want to spend some time with Fujosovich, right? So we find a way to have, one screen's going to be on Netflix, and then either I'm going to be maybe on my phone, either playing Hearthstone, raiding on Pokemon Go, or I'll take the TV with Legend of Zelda more recently. And then on the small screen is going to be maybe some Netflix stuff, some Netflix reality shows. So it overall, I'm fine with suspending the disbelief, and whenever the shows start, everyone seems a little bit fake to me because they're putting it on, and hey everyone, I'm Fujosovich and I'm super cool and I'm gonna try and win, and I get it. But once I'm able to get beyond that, then I start to be like, oh, okay, this guy's kind of charming, this girl's kind of funny, and I can kind of get into people's personalities and get whatever it is. It doesn't matter about the shows. It can be Love Island. We've watched that. We've watched a couple seasons of The Circle. We've watched Love Is Blind. The Mole. The Mole was actually kind of fun, because it's just like, it's not, all these other ones are like kind of like romantic. Everyone's way too good looking and just making out with each other. I'm like, okay, I don't need this. But the thing that really takes me out of it, no matter once I'm able to suspend disbelief, and I know it's in massive, the largest quotation marks, reality TV. But once I get beyond all of that, and I can get over people's personalities that I generally don't like them for first impressions, and then I start to realize, oh, okay, they're okay. The thing that takes me out of every single one of these shows, they're living their reality in their, beautiful vacation home with fully, all you can drink and all you can eat and all you can work out and tan lifestyle for 2 or 3 weeks. Then it jumps to someone talking to the camera. And the thing that drags me out of this quote unquote reality is they don't say, oh, at this moment I felt really betrayed by, whoever, Sophia, because she backstabbed me and she knew I wanted to make out with whoever. They say, as if they were in the moment, I can't believe, Sophia, who do you think you are? How can you betray me like this? Instead of as if it was a past tense. They're reacting as if they were acting out what they were thinking in that moment. And it just drags me out because it's like, that's not the way things happened. You obviously then had to go to this separate room to film this separate thing. And you would think about that event in the past tense. But when they speak about it, it just blows my mind every single time. And let me tell you, it ruins the immersion of my reality TV watching, which I'm only half watching because I'm trying to finish Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I'm just looking over like, oh, who just got voted out? Who do we think the mole is? Alert. What type of game is it going to be this time? You know what I mean? So it's the one, once I can suspend disbelief and just go along for the ride, that is reality TV. That's the thing that rips me out of it, which is kind of weird, but that's fine. Okay, just a couple. We're getting a little long in the tooth here. A couple quick topics here. We talked about doing a lightning round. I need some cool sound effects. I'll do it next time. I'll figure that out. Baseball. For my sports, I'm a hockey baseball type of guy. Baseball spring training just started. 28 or 27 or 26 days time from now, the season starts. I'm a Canadian kid, so I'm going to be talking about the Blue Jays and the American League East. I'm excited for the season. We have a pitch clock, so the games have been about a half hour on average faster, which is cool because people often complain baseball's so slow. It's a lot faster now. So that's interesting. We'll be following it, talking about it. One game has already been decided by the pitch clock. If you don't throw the ball within a certain amount of time, or if you're a batter and you're not in the batter's box ready to receive a pitch, you receive a strike against you. And one game was already decided on that, which is kind of cool. So that's interesting. Switching to hockey, NHL trade deadline. Wow, easy for me to say. Just happened. Like I said, I'm a Canadian kid. Hockey was big. I also cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sorry. I'm fine with them losing in the first round all the time. I think they still might lose in the first round, but they just got 3 new defensemen and 3 new forwards. They got a lot heavier, a lot bigger, more sandpaper, more meat and potatoes, which I think is going to be interesting. Hopefully they just don't get as beaten up anymore. They still might lose in the first round, and I'm fine with it. I'd love for them to win. I'd love for them to win. But they're just probably not going to get as beaten up anymore. So that's a good thing. And we're going to end with a follow-up. I think this was the very first episode. Was it the intro episode? Was it like the episode 0.5 where I brought up this story about me waking up earlier than everyone and waking everyone up? Well, one person up. And it's fine. I feel like I move like a ninja. Other people in the house feel like I move like I have lead feet. We've had people stay over recently. We don't have a large casa, so they have to sleep in the living room downstairs right beside the kitchen. So I wake up in the morning, I go downstairs, go to the bathroom, go to the kitchen, I go to the fridge, get my pre-packed breakfast, lunch, get it out, and I go sneak outside. One person whomst I love dearly hears me from upstairs. The people staying in the living room, right? I have to walk past them, almost over them sometimes. Stay asleep the whole time. Look, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, but this is the experience we just had, and that's all I'm gonna say about it, so I don't get in too much trouble. And that's gonna be it. And that's what we're going to end on. We're going to end on the fact that we now have some evidence that maybe I am more quiet than I think. But also maybe I'm just more loud than I think. We'll get to the bottom of this. I don't know how else we're going to test this theory. I don't know. We'll see. We'll stay up to date on this one. We'll see if I can ever figure out. Maybe I just need to fix some of the floorboards as well. Maybe that would help me as well. But that's it. That's going to be all for today. Thanks so much for stopping by. There will be a stream, like I said, Wednesday, March 28th, 2023, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We'll just hang out, stop by. I'm hoping to get, let's say, 25 people total, concurrent 10 people. Stop by, say hi. If you feel like it, we'll probably just have Hearthstone or, like I said, some WoW up in the background, just to have something going on in the screen for old time's sakes. Stay safe, everyone. Be good to each other. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. And we will talk to each other sometime very, very soon. Bye-bye.